Last year when Yuji went to visit the south of France for a wind-down climb trip, he'd actually just been to KINKASAN. He'd opened a few new trad routes on this tiny little island off the east coast of Japan and showed us some photos. They looked great. A little later he sent us a few more photos and we started to talk seriously about doing a new project.
So, we went to Japan.
We went to Japan.
So that was Yuji's idea, but Yuji has a very small problem. 1 week ago he found a way to hurt himself.
I grab a good hold and then I just swing a strange way, and then I landed with one foot and just like had a weird noise, you know.
So he's been GO, in French is Grand Organizer. So he's been booking everything and preparing a picnic pretty much. The fourth member to our trip is Toru Nagajima. He's the baby of the team. He's
23. For those of us that might not recognise the name, especially if you're from the UK, you'll recognise Toru as the crazy 15-year-old Japanese kid that came across to the Gritstone a few years ago and basically climbed loads of the hardest routes in summer. So he had a very, very strong head, and now he has a very, very strong body to go with that head, so he's basically just crushing everything.
Yeah.
We go to KINKASAN, okay?
Yuji told us that there is this little Virgin Island next to Fukushima. KINKASAN has been damaged first by the earthquake, then by the tsunami who went all around it.
Here was one of the secret place for Shintoism, and so like so many people came. Every year they had 600,000 people comes as a tourist, and after the earthquake, nearly no one comes.
Everything's been either destroyed or was closed down afterwards. The shrine's still there because it was higher up on the hillside. Now on the island there are 2 monks that live there, and so of course you can imagine the reconstruction efforts, even though they're doing the best they can, is really, really, really slow.
I saw one NPO people, they explained me how they want to recovering in this place with the climbing, and I feel like I want to join them. I thought it's good for show to James and Carol, and then also to the other part of the world, and I thought like I can collect more climber come to KINKASAN, and then more people come to KINKASAN, more people happy, and then it's good for economically situation here in KINKASAN and also local people.
The idea is kind of simple. We go there, we open new routes and basically promote the island.
All this, I think this is not very good rock.
When you're climbing there, it's like you're on the southwest coast of England. It's this amazing white, rough granite, great hole, just eats up gear, and you've got the ocean just below you crashing all the time.
So much potential. You have so many bouldering, trad, and then even trad, you have a crack, you have a hard face climbing. The people who climb here from the beginning, they decide not put any boat, just climbing naturally, you know.
Here you've got maybe 8B or 8B plus face climbing run routes. Just on the left, there's one of the hardest finger cracks I've ever seen. One of the hardest finger cracks in the world. It's amazing. No, this place is like heaven.
The rock is super good. No need to brush, nothing. It was just ready to go.
You just start new route from bottom to top, and it just works. That's something that's really, really rare.
It's totally mind-blowing how much stuff there is to do here.
Toru came in with like, this is difficult, you know? Too many lines.
I'm pretty sure Toru is the best trad climber in Japan.
I think usually the idea is that Toro will come on this trip and he'll learn something from all of us. The only problem is that Caroline and I are really not sure what he's supposed to learn from us because he's leaps and bounds ahead of where we are. Just some of the boulder problems he's been doing on the first few days are, pretty extreme in the definition.
I love the process of climbing. I find the route and brush it, try, and finally I finish it. I love this process.
It's very special. It's not normal case. Most of his age, they just go to indoor gym, follow the competition circuit, but Toru is different.
Toro just showed me one of his new boulder problems he did yesterday. Calling it a boulder problem is maybe not the right definition, and now you can see some of the damage.
I started waterfall climbing. It's the just opposite of canyoning.
He has the picture of something, and maybe his picture of climbing is like adventure.
He's the kind of person who decided to go for a 1 month trip to England when he was 15 and he didn't speak any English. And he went on his own.
Because he couldn't find a belayer and he was motivated to try some routes.
So he just soloed.
He's always thinking his way of climbing, and he just try to find like best image of climbing or climbing style.
He's been crushing everything for many years in Japan and around the world, focused on bouldering, but now he's kind of satisfied with his bouldering career and he's looking forward to move on to other things.
I climbed some hard boulder like a 8B plus SC. If I keep focus on bouldering, maybe I can climb more harder problem, but it's not so good idea for me. Now I want to change my climbing style. I want to do new things. I want to start new things. I'm looking for the new thing, what I want to do now. Just looking for.
One of the reasons we wanted to come climbing in Japan is essentially just to go climb with Yuji again. We probably do at least one trip a year with him during the last 5 years. After having seen the photos he usually sent us, it looked like a little paradise, and he's usually pretty spot on. When he says something's good, it's usually so.
The only thing that he didn't mention is the lychees.
Lychees is difficulty of climbing in KINKASAN.
And
the 2 hours approach to all the decent cliffs. Yuji also has an excellent characteristic of forgetting to tell you all of the slightly less desirable parts of a trip or a project.
well, he forgot to say there was a typhoon coming.
Yeah.
And we arrived and oh, by the way, tomorrow rain because there's a typhoon. And then apparently there's another typhoon coming. So
I'm not quite sure why Yuji suggested we come at this time of year, but I'm sure there was something in his master plan.
So it's our last day on KINKASAN. KINKASAN's been amazing. It surpassed all expectations. The only thing that could have been better was the weather, and this time we were a little bit unlucky, but it's all the more reason to come back in the future. There's so many lines here to open and so much potential for the new stuff, either end of the spectrum, from easy to futuristic. KINKASAN definitely has it all. Plus it's just an amazing place to hang out.
You can see that just a few years ago it was obviously heavily frequented by visitors. There's lots of kind of typical Asian infrastructure, and it's just like prime, pristine nature. It's shocking to see how much a place can change in a few years just because of, you know, the destruction of Mother Nature. Yeah, in one way it makes the island nicer, it makes it pure because you feel like the island's slowly reclaiming itself.
So you have all these deers and the monkeys everywhere.
And so far we've only explored probably one third or 1/4 of the coastline. there's just going to be so much more adventure to discover, I'm sure. And hopefully in the future more people are going to go there for climbing. More Japanese people are going to realise that they don't need to travel to the other side of the world to go trad climbing, because there's loads of amazing stuff to do right there on the doorstep.
Added to the list of places we need to come back to, which unfortunately is getting longer and longer and longer the more we travel. But, you know, we're going to have a long life, I hope. Zack.